Hey everyone, Metagross Freak here, and today I'm going to be talking about one of my least favorite mechanics in Pokemon. If you play competitively, you probably know one of the most annoying items to have to deal with is a focus sash. You knock down a Pokemon you knock down a sweeper with one big hit, and right as it gets to the last point of HP, it survives thanks to the focus sash. In fact, the fear strategy is focused around the focus sash and sweeps entire teams. And so today I want to talk about non-item equivalent, and that is the ability Sturdy. Now, in Generation 3 and 4, it had a different ability. Sturdy was designed to protect against one-hit KO moves like Horn Drill and Fissure, moves like Sheer Cold, moves like that. But those moves aren't really used anymore. In fact, they're considered more like gimmicks. You rarely ever see a Pokemon use a one-hit KO move, and that's mostly because their poor accuracy and the fact that, well, there's easier ways to kill Pokemon. The more current version is that if you are at full health, if you're hit with an attack that would knock you out with one hit, you're instead left with 1 HP. Which is pretty nice, though is generally reserved for Pokemon that are either Rock, Steel, and occasionally fighting in Ground. However, when you're fighting just random Pokemon like the occasional Geodude or Raggenrola or Onix in a cave, while this is annoying, it's not a big deal because chances are you're grinding for experience anyway, so it's a little bit of a bump in the road to get your Pokemon to evolve. However, wild Pokemon aren't the only ones to use it. Now, there are countless trainers, and that would take tons of research to do, but here I'm going to talk about the Gym Leaders, Elite Four, and the champion that have Pokemon with the ability Sturdy. Now, the reason I'm even bringing up this list of gym leaders and Elite Four members and champions is not because I just want to talk about major characters who have sturdy Pokemon. It's that it's even more annoying when the Pokemon you have to face with sturdy is actually a decent Pokemon. The leaders, regardless of their various tiers, have stronger Pokemon, they have multiple Pokemon rather than just one or two, and they're, well, just all around more annoying to have to take out because they usually have higher moves and are higher levels. Since the current form of Sturdy hasn't existed until Generation 5 and onward, I'm only going to be covering those generations. We're going to be looking at trainers who have just these newer versions of Sturdy who kind of add to the aggravation. You think you're able to sweep through a leader in order to get that money with your amulet coin or luck incense, or to try to get that experience to get a low-level Pokemon to evolve by grinding for experience, and instead they full restore. Starting with the gym leaders, in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, as well as Black 2 and White 2's World Tournament, you have Brock, who has a Graveler or Golem, respectively. You have a Rhyhorn in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and in the World Tournament you just have an Onix. Jasmine, the Steel-type trainer in Johto, in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, has a Skarmory, Magnezone, and Steelix, and also gains Fortress in the World Tournament. Roxanne, the Rock-type gym leader from Hoenn, in the World Tournament has a Probopass, Aggron, Carracosta, and a Golem. That's 4 Pokemon, potentially all in the same team. And of course, in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, just her Geodude has Sturdy. Like I mentioned before, Roark has a Probopass in Pokemon Platinum during his rematch, but that's the old version of Sturdy. In the new version of Sturdy, however, in Black 2 White 2's World Tournament, he has a Probopass, a Sudowoodo, an Onix, a Golem, and a Crustle, depending on how you're playing. Byron, again, has the old version of Sturdy with his Platinum, Bastiodon, and Aggron, but in the World Tournament has a Bastiodon, an Aggron, Steelix, Magnezone, and Fortress, making 5 possible Pokemon. Clay, in Black 2 White 2, just has an Onix. In Bruno, the Elite Four member in Heart Gold Soul Silver, has an Onix in the first fight, but luckily gets replaced with another fighting type in the rematches. Marshall, the Elite Four member in Black 2, he has a Sock, which I think it's really interesting that Sock has Sturdy, but Throh doesn't. And more recently, we have Wilkstrom, the Steel-type Elite Four member, one of actually my favorite Elite Four members, because depending on what order you fight them in, he says different things. If you fight him first, he comments saying that you want to get your toughest opponent out of the way first. If you fight him last, he comments saying you saved the best for last. But that's not as important as Steven, the only champion who has a sturdy Pokemon. In Black 2, White 2's World Tournament, he has an Aggron, and in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, he has Skarmory and Aggron. Skarmory can have one of two abilities, but the fact that it can still have Sturdy means you potentially have two sturdy Pokemon to deal with during a champion fight, which, considering he has two full restores, let me tell you how this goes. He sends out Aggron. You sweep it down. Oh, 1 HP due to Sturdy. Full restore. Knock it down, 1 HP due to Sturdy. Full restore. Knock it down, 1 HP due to Sturdy. It attacks you, it's really annoying. Next turn, you do any attack, it dies. How annoying is that? In the actual story, when you're fighting just wild Pokemon and you just see a wild Pokemon, it's like, and you hit it with something and it has 1 HP left, that's annoying, but not as annoying as having a gym leader or an Elite Four member or a champion. And now it sounds kind of like I'm just bitching about it, but really, why should we get trolled by a Pokemon? Most of these Pokemon are Steel, or Rock, or Fighting, or possibly have a subtype of Ground. They have higher defenses anyway, which means the only thing Sturdy is good for is against special attacks, because very few Steel, Fighting, or Rock Pokemon have really high special defense. So really, unless they're getting hit with a Fire move if you're Steel, a Water or Grass move if you're Rock, or a Psychic or Fairy if you're Fighting, really, you're better off, in my opinion, building better HP, because that way you can survive those moves and survive more physical moves. It's also really annoying because when the example of a full restore with a Sturdy, it's kind of a major waste of PP as well. You know, when I'm able to one-shot a Probopass and you end up having to basically kill it 5 times, it's really annoying. Sturdy is basically just a giant bump in the road that prevents you from getting to your success. I would like to see in future games Sturdy maybe get a little bit adjusted so that it's either less aggravating, especially when you're just going through tunnels full of Roggenrollas or Geodudes, because that's just aggravating, or maybe have some kind of an adjustment where it helps protect you against special moves and still being only accessible to those types that I mentioned. I don't know. Let me know what you think below in the comments. This is actually the first of a couple different videos I plan on making on annoying Pokemon features. Until next time, I'm Metagross Freak, and I'll see you on Wi-Fi. That's ridiculous!